Hey, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today? Hope that everybody's doing well. Hi, this is Jan from New York City. My channel name is Jan from New York City. Saves money. Gonna talk today about my cheap and frugal attitude and why it exists. Yeah. It exists because, gonna jump into the reasons in a minute, but just wondering, do you have your El Cheapo cup of coffee in front of you? If you paid more than $1 for a cup of coffee, in my honest opinion, you paid way too much. Just saying, just saying. All right, hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to jump right into it. My cheap and frugal attitude exists. Why? Because number one, I choose it. And quite honestly, I don't really care if other people around me are fond of it or not fond of it, because at the end of the day, it's, survival of the fittest, and you have to think for yourself, and you have to look ahead at the great big picture and what is most important for you and for your immediate family. So you can't worry about what, somebody next door might think of you if you drive around in a clunker. It may look like a clunker, but it works and you paid every penny for it. You're not in debt. So they could think whatever they want while they drive their beautiful leased car and they're still living with high payments. Hello, sorry. I'm not concerned about stuff like that. So that's number one. Number two, it's actually a great way to try to prevent future misery. What do I mean by that? By being mindful of things in the beginning instead of worrying about it, the aftermath to be cleaned up after the fact. I'm not interested in that. I rather take a minute before I make a purchase and think very, very carefully. Do I really need this item? Hello. Or is it just a want? So what if it takes me a minute or two to think about it? It's okay. It's okay. I have the time. I'll think a minute or two. What's a minute or two? Not that much time. So I rather be preventative now by taking that time and thinking yes or no to an item, thinking carefully. And if the item is a no go, it's a no go. That means it wasn't met and I shouldn't do it. And if it's a yes, that means I needed the item and all's well and all's good. Next, I love making a game of it. It's all how you look at it. That glass of water, as everybody knows, could be half empty or it could be half full. Making a game of it, make a game of frugality. Be positive about it. What can I do today to avoid having to pay extra? What can I do today to knock down my bill? Is there a coupon? Is there some percentage I could take off? Is there an app that I could find that will help me to keep my money? Make a game of it. I mean, you don't have to get crazy about it, but have a little fun about it. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's not going to harm anybody if they're like really into it. If you're really into it, you're into it. There's no harm done, in my honest opinion. You're just trying to get the maximum value. See, that's the thing. Frugal people aren't interested in just, oh, that's a cheap price and I'll buy it. A really, truly frugal person is looking for quality. Sometimes a frugal person will put out more money because they're looking ahead and they are willing to pay more money for better value. It's all about value. And if you make a little bit of a game of it, hey, why not? Versus, let's say, getting a cheap brand new table. Well, it's brand new, it looks all shiny and pretty, but the quality of that table is rather dinky, as opposed to maybe taking a minute, going to a thrift store and finding a well-made, sturdy, older table. All right, it's not perfect, but it sure has lasting power and it is nice and sturdy. And not only that, you got a great value for a great price. We're checking into the value. Just saying, just saying. All right. Next, put what's really important in your life into a better perspective. For example, some people, they spend so much of their personal time trying to earn extraneous, ridiculous amounts of money. And meantime, they're missing out on other things, in my opinion, like time with their family, quality time spent with their family or their friends, or like just taking a minute to stopping and smelling the roses. Sometimes it is okay to lower that number bar, if you will. You know what I'm trying to say? By spending that important time praying, meditating, going to church, being fellowshipped with your friends and relatives and everything else, being an important part of your community. That is equally as important as that numero uno dollar sign. Just saying, just saying. So being frugal also helps me put what's really important in my life. I'm talking about me into proper perspective. By the way, if you're finding value in this video, please let me know by smashing down the like button. I appreciate you for it. Next, I rather choose denial sometimes than choose me by becoming broke. What does that mean? I don't want to choose to be broke. I rather deny myself of something that is not necessary because it gives me peace. It gives me serenity. It gives me just a better feeling to know that I have an emergency fund. I have a cushion. I could like just go to sleep and like at night knowing, oh, it's so nice to know there's an emergency fund. Yes, it is. Because ask the person that does not have an emergency fund and then something comes up unexpectedly and they're like, you don't want that in your life. So I rather choose denial of stuff that's not all that important. It's kind of similar to the previous point, but you see my point. Next, keeping your eye on the prize, having savings goals. Some people like to simplify it, and it's totally okay. But keep a goal, create a goal, name it and claim it. It is important to name and claim your goal. So, this is one of the reasons why my cheap and frugal attitude exists, because I like to keep my eye on the prize. Okay. And for me personally, I'm not saying this applies to the rest of the world at large, because it probably doesn't. I'm probably in the minority of the next thing that I am about to say. Okay. Okay. I don't need to live fancy. Honestly, I just am happy living comfortably, not in debt, never have to worry about being in debt. I rather live the happy, content, debt-free life. I at this time in my life, in this season, as an older person, because I am senior, I'm 63 and a half, soon to be 64 in December. Not that I'm, throwing any hints for a birthday gift. Just saying. No, but honestly, before you know it, it becomes that time of the year. So just saying, just saying. But I don't need that. I passed all those seasons already. So for me personally, just rather continue living the debt-free life and that's it. And I'm happy with that. I don't need fancy. I do like comfortable, but I don't need fancy. That's me. Hey, how do you feel about being, as we call, a cheap and frugal attitude lifestyle? Why does your cheap and frugal attitude exist? Obviously, you're interested in it somewhat. You're here, aren't you? You're watching this, you're listening or watching this video, just saying, you come to this channel, and I really, really, really appreciate you for it. Thanks so much. Have an amazing, wonderful day, and leave your comments in the comments section below. Take good care now. Bye-bye.